So I had to ask myself, is my perception of Gen Z's work ethic based and influenced on their use of social media? I mean, it's a question that's crossed my mind. Maybe it's crossed yours. You see, Gen Z, they're the first to grow up with the internet and social media at their fingertips. This absolutely has undoubtedly shaped their behaviors and attitudes, including those related to work. So I had to take a look at this and the several aspects of this topic, which is their inherent digital skills and the changing values influenced by global pressure, the new breed of entrepreneurial spirit and the mental health concerns tied to their constant social media use, and then the influence of the gig economy and how that did not quite pan out the way everybody was promised. Also have to consider if what we perceive as a lack of work ethic could simply be a shift in work style or priorities. So you have to get a little deeper into these points in order to understand that whole picture. Now, these digital natives have grown up in a world of complete interconnected by technology. I mean, their lives are woven with threads of software and hardware and their fingertips that dance across touch screens, keyboards as naturally as breathing for the rest of us. This deep-seated digital familiarity goes beyond just selfies and hashtags. It's about understanding the very pulse of the digital universe and using it to their advantage. I mean, take a look at the modern workplace. It is a digital battlefield where the weapons of choice are coding skills, data analysis, and social media savviness. And I mean, really, who is better equipped to lead the charge on this than Generation Z? I mean, this is a generation that's been coding since they were in diapers. The ones who can navigate this labyrinth world of social media with their eyes closed. I mean, consider the young coder who develops an app that revolutionized how we interact with our smartphones, or the social media whiz who crafts a viral marketing campaign that sends a startup sales through the roof. But it's not just about the hard skills. It's about the soft skills too. The ability to collaborate virtually, to build networks online, to work flexibly and efficiently in a digital environment. I mean, they have these skills in spades, honed through years of online interactions and collaborations. Now, their digital prowess is undeniable, but has this exposure to social media influenced their values? I mean, social media has opened the world to Gen Z, exposing them to this myriad of cultures, ideas, lifestyles. It's like having a window into the world at your fingertips, a world that is diverse, dynamic, and constantly evolving. This exposure, it profoundly shapes their values and expectations, specifically when it comes to their careers. I mean, they've seen the possibility of different work styles and environments through the digital window. They've seen people working from beaches in Bali, collaborating in co-working spaces in Berlin, and launching startups from their bedrooms in Boston. This has ultimately led to a shift in their values, a shift towards flexibility, this new work-life balance that doesn't necessarily adhere to the traditional 9-to-5 grind. I mean, they've also been exposed to this wide range of societal issues, from climate change, social justice movements. I mean, and it's fostered within them a deep sense of social responsibility. They just don't want to work. They seem to think their work wants to have a meaningful purpose. They want to make a difference, to contribute something that they perceive as greater than themselves? Maybe. I mean, this exposure has led to a change in their career expectations. They've seen the successful entrepreneurs, creativeness influencers who built careers outside the conventional corporate ladder, and they've seen that success doesn't have to mean a corner office in a skyscraper. It can mean being your own boss, setting your own hours, and pursuing your passions. Now, while these values are admirable, they also fuel an entrepreneurial spirit within this generation. They're not afraid to carve their own path, to challenge the status quo, to redefine what success looks like in the 21st century. And yes, social media platforms have become a breeding ground for entrepreneurship amongst Gen Z. With the world at their fingertips, I mean, these younger individuals, they're seizing this opportunity to create and foster their own business. From fashion boutiques to tech startups, I mean, they're leveraging the power of social media to reach a wider audience, market their products, and engage with customers in real time. We have seen some of their successes. And this new wave of entrepreneurship is not only reshaping the business landscape, but also challenging our traditional notions of work ethic. Creating and managing a business online requires a tremendous amount of effort, dedication, and resilience. I mean, it calls for strategic thinking, creativity, and this deep understanding of digital trends. Now, that's in stark contrast to the 9 to 5 grind. This entrepreneurial approach allows for flexibility and autonomy, but it is not all rosy. As much of it offers independence, it also demands constant engagement, a knack for innovation, and an ability to adapt in the face of adversity. And this entrepreneurship spirit comes with its own set of challenges. Now, the relentless pace of social media can take a toll on one's mental health. In the bustling digital landscape that is the modern world, the impact of social media on our mental health is a growing concern. I mean, the constant exposure to the perfect lives of others and the pressure to always be on and the comparison culture can lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and depression. I mean, research has pointed to a correlation between excessive social media use and these mental health issues. I mean, the more time spent scrolling through feeds, the higher the likelihood of experiencing these negative psychological effects. It's a cycle that can be hard to break, with the dopamine hit that you get from the likes and comments acting as a powerful reinforcement. It is the same thing for people that get addicted to gambling. And you look at me and you might be wondering, how does this relate to work ethic? Well, our mental health significantly influences our motivation and productivity. Someone struggling with anxiety or depression may find it challenging to maintain and focus, persist through difficulties, or even muster the energy to start tasks. All critical elements that we traditionally define as strong work ethic. Now, I'm not saying that every person from Gen Z who uses social media extensively will experience these mental health issues or a decline in work ethic. However, it does highlight a potential risk, a side effect of a digitally connected life. So is it fair to say that social media is solely responsible for the perceived change in Gen Z's work ethic? And every generation has faced its criticisms from its older cohorts about their work ethic. And Gen Z, you are no exception. It's a tale as old as time, one generation looking at the next and shaking their heads at what they perceive as a lack of drive and determination. But this perception accurate, or could it be that we're just not understanding the changing landscape of work and employment? I mean, it might be that us older folks now are just not understanding. I mean, firstly, let's consider the shift in work style. I mean, Gen Z is definitely masters of multitasking. They're able to juggle multiple tasks at once, switching seamlessly between screens and applications. While this might look like a lack of focus to the untrained eye, it's actually a highly efficient way of working in the digital age. But then we have the challenge of priorities. Our Z workers value flexibility and work-life balance, a far cry from the traditional 9 to 5 grind. This doesn't mean that they're unwilling to work hard. It just means they want to work in a way that suits their lifestyle and personal needs. And a lot of that, from my generation's perspective, makes you look like you're slacking, not motivated, and not willing to put in effort. But we've also had a huge shift in the job types. I mean, the rise of the gig economy, which is fueled by technology and social media, it created a whole new realm of employment opportunity. But the problem is these jobs often lack the stability of traditional roles, but offer the freedom and flexibility that Gen Z craves. So if you're skipping the 9 to 5 in favor of freelance or contract work, it's not because they're lazy, it's because they're adapting to the new opportunities that are available to them. But I have to address the misinterpretation of Gen Z's work style. I mean, their preference for digital communication and multitasking might seem as a lack of focus or dedication, but in reality, it's just a different approach to work. It's an approach that's perfectly suited to the fast-paced, interconnected world we live in today. So is social media to blame for changes in Gen Z's work ethic? Like most things, it's not that simple. Drawing conclusions about them and their work ethic based on their use of social media might not be as straightforward as it seems. We need to consider the broader context, the changing nature of work, and the unique challenges and opportunities that this generation is facing. I mean, while social media certainly influences their attitudes and behaviors, I think it's an oversimplification to solely blame it for the change in their work ethic. I mean, as I've gone over, they're the first generation to grow up with the internet and social media entirely at their fingertips. They got that different approach to work. I mean, they're not just digitally savvy, but digitally native. They're comfortable in the online world, and they bring that comfort and those skills to the workplace. Plus, their exposure to the diverse cultures, ideas, and lifestyles that they get on social media has definitely shaped their values and career expectations. They value flexibility, work-life balance, and social responsibility. And they're not just waiting for opportunities to come to them. They're creating opportunities. leveraging the social media platforms to start and promote their own businesses. Those of them that have that ambition. But then we have to acknowledge the pitfalls of social media. Excessive use, it can impact mental health, which will in effect motivation and productivity at work. And while the rise of the gig economy offers more flexibility, it also brings a lot less stability. So the perceived changes in Gen Z's work ethic could be just a shift in work style, priorities, or the types of jobs that are valued. It's not a lack of focus or dedication, but a different approach to work. In understanding their work ethic, we should consider the myriad of influences that shape their world, not just social media. Anyway, that's what I have to say about that. Sometimes I'm a little hard on you, but sometimes I got to get your back. So until later, this is Drac saying bye-bye for now, and peace out, everyone.